Let's look at a typical PMC school scenario. This is Priya Mode of Powai Municipal School, Mumbai. She teaches science in classes 5th to 8th. Out of the 4 classes she takes every day, half of her time goes in writing down things on the blackboard and the other half goes in revising the basics for the absentees. She is sad because even after putting so much efforts, her syllabus is not getting completed. She wastes away her time in the staff room as there are no computers or internet. At max, she can check copies in her free periods. She carries her schoolwork to home, where she uses her own computer and broadband connection to prepare lessons and fill online records. This seriously messes with her personal time, which she should be spending with her family. Now, let's say that my proposed service is implemented. The school is introduced to the service through an official letter and mailed by the Ministry of Education, Government of India. The head is personally called by the education officer and introduced to the service. They also get an invite for attending a workshop for which the teachers mark their calendars. A day before the workshop WS1, the head receives a reminder. In turn, he reminds the teacher via an SMS. The workshop is scheduled within school hours so that the teachers do not have to invest their personal time. A bus arrives to pick them up from school. The WS1 has several activities. The first activity is a game where they get a few points as budget which they have to invest in different resources which they feel are important for the school to have. This helps the school prioritize their needs. Then, the NGO members give demos for the AAMS interface to familiarize the teachers with the system. Then, the final activity is a proposal writing exercise. The schools are given a presentation on how to write a good proposal. Then, they are given a fictitious scenario for which they have to write a proposal demanding resources. This is then discussed. The workshop ends with refreshments. The attendees are introduced to the UTeach platform where they can ask and answer doubts. They are given an instructional manual for the AAMS and goodie bags. The bus drops them back to their respective schools. Soon after, there is a reminder from the nodal officer to the heads for registering their schools on the AAMS. After the registration is done, a checkup date is scheduled. On the date of the checkup, technical experts come, examine and record the existing assets in the school. The report is submitted to the nodal officer who gets an AMC done for the assets and upload the asset records with their AMCs on AAMS. This makes the system fully active for the school. After the summer vacations, there is a reminder for another workshop WS2. The bus arrives on scheduled date and drops the teacher at the workshop venue. There is an interesting activity where the teachers have to draw a schematic boundary diagram of their school on a chart. They are then given a box of tokens with assets printed on them. Each school has their own asset records. Accordingly, they place the round tokens on the school diagram. After this, the teacher interchanges the tables. They now have to take a look at another school's diagram and find out the resources needed in the school. These are marked using the square tokens from box 2. After this activity, all the attendees go from table to table to discuss the proposed changes. This workshop gives a fair idea to the schools about the resources they are lacking. The workshop ends with refreshments and distribution of goodie bag. In the following month, while Priya is returning from a Xerox shop after getting some assignment sheets printed, she thinks that it would be nice to have a printer in school itself. She asks on the UTeach platform that whether she should buy an inkjet printer or a laser printer for her school. Another teacher, Vandana, sees the question Priya posted and answers it. It turns out that she faced a similar dilemma while purchasing a printer for her own school and hence has an experience to share. The teacher community appreciates her answer and she gets point. At the end of the month, Vandana scores the highest points and is given a small reward as a token of appreciation. Meanwhile, Priya has her query resolved and requests the head to get a laser printer for the school. The head logs into the AAMS and downloads the proposal format for acquiring a printer. It turns out that he is not fully confident regarding how to fill the form. He asks for help from an NGO member. She schedules an appointment to resolve his confusion. On the scheduled date, the NGO member meets the head in person or on a Skype call to resolve his doubts regarding filling of the form. Having formed a strong proposal, the head uploads it on the AAMS. As soon as he does that, the nodal officer gets a notification. The nodal officer decides the logistics of the proposed asset. In case of doubts, He calls the head and confirms the logistics. The nodal officer then generates a tender for the printer and invites quotation from vendors. He decides the quotation and uploads the details on the AAMS. Government sees the proposal and if it seems fit, it approves it. The money is transferred to the school's account via NEFT, and so thereafter the asset is acquired. Next month, there is another reminder for the workshop 3. The bus arrives for picking up the teachers on the scheduled date. In this workshop, teachers share their past experiences and problems. The NGO gives solution to the most popular problems. The workshop ends with refreshments and distribution of goodie bags. In the next few months, when the computers in the lab start breaking down, Priya complained about it to the head. The head reported a breakdown, for which another checkup date was scheduled by the nodal officer. On the scheduled date, the AMC provider comes and examines the asset. They repair it if possible, otherwise they replace it with a new one. Whenever there is a month left to expiry of an AMC, the nodal officer gets a warning message. He schedules a checkup date ASAP, on which the AMC provider examine the asset's condition and give quotations for the renewal of AMC. All the details are uploaded on the AAMS portal timely. The question is, how would this service benefit the teachers? The traditional blackboard teaching can be replaced by ICT teaching, employing projectors and TV screens. Teachers would not have to waste time writing on the board. Rather, that time can be utilized for teaching and controlling the class. Also, students would find multimedia content more engaging and easy to understand. In case any student is absent, the teacher would be able to give printed remedial resources to these kids. The teacher would have to spend less time revising the basics all over again. The remedial resources would reduce the time taken by the student to catch up. The staff rooms will have proper computers with internet connections. The teacher can start filling online records and preparing digital lessons for the next class in her free periods itself. Though the teacher would have to spend more time for creating the digital lessons, the satisfaction index for them would be much higher due to the better learning outcomes. Next year, the teacher would save a lot of time reusing the resources she prepared in the first year. She could spend more time clearing the doubts of the student. At home, she does not have to give away her personal time for schoolwork. She can choose to spend that time with her family or to upgrade her own skills. Happy ending for all.